When our son turned 5 years old, my wife and I signed him up for T-ball, his first baseball experience, and he was so excited about the idea of getting to play baseball. We took him to his first practice and things went well. They gave him a cap and a t-shirt and he couldn't stop talking about it all the way home. We decided that we would borrow a camcorder to record his first ball game. It was one of those big ones that you sit on your shoulder and you look through the viewfinder and everything's in black and white. Well, the day of the game came and we showed up, I guess a little bit late, because it looked like the players were sort of finishing their warm-up and working their way back to the dugout. My wife hurriedly got our son out, put his glove on, sent him through the gate. He began to run across the field. I was watching him through the viewfinder, and I realized that this viewfinder created this sort of chasm between where my son was and where I was, this feeling of separateness, like he was way far off. But he runs out on the pitcher's mound, and I guess he got a little confused. He turns around, and he stretched out his skinny little arms, and he cried out in his 5-year-old voice, "Dad, Dad, is this where I'm supposed to be?" Wow. My father's heart, I wanted to put that camera down and run out there and help him and hold him. But suddenly I had a revelation. And the revelation was this, that I understood perhaps more than I ever did before how God must have felt. How far away his son must have seemed, like there was this great chasm between where God was and where Jesus was, as Jesus was on a mound called Golgotha, with his arms outstretched, and in his pain and suffering, crying out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" It was like he was saying the words my son was asking, "Dad, Dad, is this where I'm supposed to be?" Up until that point in my life, I'd always believed that the cross was about changing God's mind about me through the sacrifice of his son. But suddenly I knew down deep in my knower that the cross was just as much about changing my mind about God. Changing my mind because I comprehended more than I ever had before what the Bible says is the height, the depth, the breadth, and the width of God's love in Jesus Christ. Suddenly I realized the infinite capacity of God's love for this whole world. It was transforming. Transformed the way I looked at myself, the way I looked at others. And it inspired me and motivated me more than anything else that I could say to live my life in service to others, laying down my life so that others might know the love of God in Jesus Christ.